to the KPC Daily Devotional. Today, I'd like to read a familiar story from the book of Judges, chapter 7, the verses 2 through 7. This is the story, part of the story of Gideon. The Lord said to Gideon, "The troops with you are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hand. Israel would only take the credit away from me, saying, 'My own hand has delivered me.' Now therefore proclaim this in the hearing of the troops. Whoever is fearful and trembling, let him return home." Thus Gideon sifted them out. 22,000 returned, and 10,000 remained. Then the Lord said to Gideon, "The troops are still too many. Take them down to the water, and I will sift them out for you there. When I say, 'This one shall go with you,' he shall go with you. When I say, 'This one shall not go with you,' he shall not go." So he brought the troops down to the water. And the Lord said to Gideon, "All those who lap the water with their tongues, as a dog laps, you shall put to one side, and all those who kneel down to drink, putting their hands to their mouths, you shall put to the other side." The number of those that lapped was 300, but all the rest of the troops knelt down to drink water. Then the Lord said to Gideon, "With the 300 that lapped, I will deliver you and give the Midianites into your hand." This week, we're looking at devotionals from my forthcoming collection, The Social World of Fleas. And this one is entitled 13 Seconds. When they eat, each of our dogs has its own style. Papa Schnauzer Barkley will dig in, then look up to chew, swallow with an obvious head jerk, and dig in again. Younger son Cullen will pick out his food piece by piece and eat it slowly and carefully. Older son Braxton, though, straightens his back, lowers his front legs until his body makes an absolutely straight line from food bowl to nose to shoulders to tail. And then he assaults his food with great gulping snorts. No chewing, no looking around. His bowl is empty within 13 seconds. Yes, 13 seconds. The only thing comparable that I've seen that for humans do is that big 4th of July hot dog eating competition sponsored each year by Nathan's. We're talking about forcing down over 5 dozen hot dogs within 10 minutes. Watched it on television one year. Kind of takes your breath away and your appetite. I didn't have another hot dog for the rest of that summer. I don't think we should eat that fast, but Braxton's intensity and focus is admirable. He eats with gusto. But then Braxton barks with gusto, he plays with gusto, even sleeps with gusto. Whatever he does, he's totally involved in it. Now in the Bible, when Gideon prepared to fight the Midianites, God told him to take his army to the river to drink. All those who knelt and scooped up the water with one hand, that's all the good soldiers who kept a lookout on whatever they were doing, kept their head upright so they could see what was going on around them. Those Gideon was told to send home. But the troops who knelt down and lapped up water like a dog as they put their face down in it and slurped it up right out of the pond, there were only 300 of them, and those were the ones Gideon was supposed to keep. You see, God, who wanted to use people, not who looked around to see what was going on and what everybody else was doing, but who threw themselves into whatever they were doing with gusto and complete abandon. Now, I'm a Presbyterian, And we Presbyterians tend to be cautious and circumspect. We would have been the ones who knelt down and looked around while we scooped up the water. I suspect pretty much the same thing could probably be said about, most Episcopalians and Methodists and Uptown Baptists and university types, you name it. You see, we would have been the ones that God could not use. How different would your life be if you lived with gusto? I don't mean to live thoughtlessly and irresponsibly, but live in the moment and do whatever you decide to do, whether eat, play, run, work, pray, sing, make love, whatever, with your full attention and focus. Even diet with all your heart and soul. You cannot be a couch potato. You cannot be an inactive pud with gusto. It's an oxymoron. And how different would our community, our world, how different would our church be if we loved Jesus like Braxton loves food? With full focus and complete abandon, throwing caution to the wind. What if we didn't care what others thought? If we didn't care about our dignity and our poise because of the surpassing worth of knowing Jesus? Maybe other people would take our faith more seriously if they saw in us that it was worth getting excited about. I wish you a blessed day ahead. Goodbye.